Thanks for taking some time to sit down. I know you're a busy lady. So earlier, Curtis and I were talking a bit about the certain age groups that are impacted most by suicide, specifically in the state of Utah. And I think nationally, too, it's true that between the age of 35 and 45, there's the highest suicide rate among men in the country. I think it's 3 times that of women in the same age group. And we spoke a little bit about men in that age category needing to feel like men. You had mentioned, I think, prior to us recording that you'd done some research on that particular topic. What do you have to share? What do you see?
First off, my first thoughts are to remember as a kid, I was raised with 3 brothers, and if I fell down or if I went to swing and hit a ball, I was told to try again, or they would help me back up and kiss it better. My brothers were often told to cowboy up. Boys don't cry. Be tougher. And I had amazing parents, and I think that it was something that we still even continue as parents today because we want our boys to be strong. We want them to be protective and to be great providers. But as I have had the chance to do some research about relationship education and even to teach throughout the state to fathers, to stepfathers, to men that are incarcerated, I have found that many of them don't believe that being manly means being a dad. And I think that this could be extended to being a man means getting down on the floor and playing with a child. Being a man means that you may have some days that you want to cry. Men need hugs. Men need consoling. It's manly to feel frustrated, to feel sad, and to need support. And that men do not have to go it alone.
I think that's a great message, and I can see culturally that we're at a point where we've created a little bit of a monster in that age category because of the way we've been raised, many of us. Not that there was necessarily anything wrong with that, it's just there are real world consequences to constantly telling men that they need to be tougher, that they need to be independent. Mm-hmm. How do we re-educate men in that age category and show them that they can be both? What does that look like?
I think that there's various education programs, relationship education that can be found that are free to people that teach us what it is to be a man. We often learn how to parent or how to be strong individuals from our parents. And it doesn't mean that we have to model what we learned exactly how it was shown. We can find new techniques, new tools, new resources to help us to be the best that we can have. And we want to help at the family place. We want to support you. We want to support men, women, children, families, stepfamilies, grandparents. We want to help all individuals to be the best that they can be because times are tough. And COVID has often isolated us. It has created chaos, and we want to be there as that support system. So I think it's finding that support system that allows you to be the individual that you were made to be.
Let's talk about one of the successes that you've had over at the family place. And I only recently became aware of this because I've spent a lot more time talking about this particular topic. Suicide prevention, not necessarily in the moment crisis intervention, but suicide prevention has started to become more of a topic that I think we're feeling comfortable with as a community. I don't think we're to the point where we need to be yet. Recently, I believe you had some funding that was appropriated by the state government from the Governor's Suicide Prevention Fund to produce a video series about suicide prevention. Can you tell us a little bit about that process and what you spent time on?
Yes. First off, I want to say that I feel like the suicide prevention video series that we created was the most professional project that I have ever participated in. This funding was provided in late summer in the middle of a pandemic. And to be able to get the word out about suicide prevention was a little challenging, to be able to find people that would want to participate and talk about a hard subject. And through connections of being on the Suicide Prevention Coalition and through people that we knew, we were able to connect with individuals who have either been affected individually and specifically by suicide themselves or someone close to them. This funding allowed us to create a 7-part series that's available to watch for free on our website, to be able to hear their personal stories and to hear what they learned and they want people to know. The suicide prevention video series is called I Am Still Here. It's ended with a semicolon because that is a way to specifically denote a topic about suicide, something that's hard to talk about. And it's difficult to watch, but they're real stories, real people. And I had the opportunity to watch some of the interviews that were done, and they were heartbreaking to hear that people were trying to go through their challenges by themselves. They want people to know that they're not alone. We need to let people know that we are still here for them. We're here for them at 9 a.m. when things are hard and you're trying to get kids off to school and get to work on time and feed your family and look for a job. We're here for you at 2 a.m. when you feel alone and it's dark and something happens at night when you're alone and you're in the depth of your challenges and you need someone just to talk to, just to vent to. Are you going to say that you're here for them?
Mm-hmm. So how would you recommend that, let's say we have a family with parents that are concerned about preventing suicide among their own children or among their children's peers. How would you use this tool if you were a parent, if you were showing it to young adults or teenagers? What would that look like?
As I said, the videos are challenging to watch, so it's definitely not something you want to sit down and binge on. Take it one video at a time and watch and see what's appropriate for your family. Our family watched a couple of these videos together, one at a time, and sat around the dinner table and talked about it, opened the conversation. Have you ever thought about something like this? Do you have friends that you can be there for? How does this make you feel? How can we be there for you? We want to talk about these things. We want to be there for you, no matter what. And I think allowing your children to know that you understand they're going to make mistakes and we're still going to love you all the way through it.
The topic of suicide, especially among young people, can be really difficult for parents and adults to talk about, because I almost sense that there's a concern that by addressing the topic, we're going to replicate it as a means for people to, as a choice, as an option for people to take. How do we, first of all, is that even true? And how do we address that in our community in a way that's meaningful and appropriate without creating the potential for someone to think about something they've never thought before?
So I don't think that it's true that if you talk about something that means it's going to happen, but I don't know. But that's my thought. I think that there's a lot of topics that we can discuss between two people, between a parent and child, between family members, significant others. And I think that awareness is what is most important. I think that if, sadly, someone has those thoughts of suicide ideation, that those thoughts were there before you decided to talk about it. I think that darkness and difficult things that are within us are something that we feel like we have little control over, and that talking about them is not going to make them worse. No matter what the subject is, if you have the courage to talk about it, I think talking about our issues always softens them.
Yeah, I agree.
Because we can start to find solutions. Once the problem comes out, then we can turn to solutions. But if you don't ever talk about the problem, solutions never come up.
Do we need to pause for a timer?
Sorry, what's going off, you're saying?
Mm-hmm.
No, it's the work phone. We can try to stop.
Okay. I know that there's like a 30-minute timer on some of these recordings, so.
Oh, on the camera? Yeah, what's the length at right now?
You're at 12 minutes.
Okay, great. Okay. So we talked about a couple of heavy topics. Tell me more about what the Family Place does in the community that's here to uplift families and put them in a situation where they may not ever have to confront some of these issues.
I would love to talk about the Family Place. It's the happiest place in my soul to be able to serve and help the community from that amazing organization. So the Family Place is located in Logan, but we also have buildings in Smithfield and in Hiram. We serve Cache Valley from Franklin County in Idaho, Cache County, and even Rich County to beautiful Bear Lake. We offer various services, therapy for individuals, for groups. We have various workshops. We even have therapy and education based around horses. It's a chance to be able to understand emotions and behaviors and how they may reflect to others. We have various education courses, parenting, step parenting, helping with children. We have home visiting programs, mental health first aid. We have the coolest podcast. It's called The Parents' Place, and you can access it where you get all of your podcasts, various topics to help you on a weekly basis, just getting through parenting, because parenting is hard. We have our Kids' Place, which is what we call our Crisis Respite Nursery. This is not a daycare. You can actually schedule a couple of hours a week to bring your children less than 12 years old to be able to come and have some activities. We promise we won't sit them in front of a video game or a movie, that we're really going to work with them and help them to understand some of their emotions and return them to their parents. And hopefully their parents, their caregivers will have a break.
Oh, it's a great idea. 2 hour segments or 4 hour
Yes,
segments?
2 hours.
That's great.
Maybe you want to go grocery shopping by yourself instead of a 2-year-old and 4-year-old grabbing candy at the counter, right? Or maybe a parent just needs to take a nap. Or maybe there's a doctor's appointment. I do not have support around here. Maybe I just moved to Cache County and I haven't made any friends. I don't have family around here, and I don't want to take my child with me to a doctor's appointment. We also have our crisis nursery that you can call. Anyone can call, not just for that, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Call the family place. Let us help you. But we will be there to take your children that are less than 12 years old, again, to give you that break, to be able to provide some prevention. We have the opportunity to talk a lot about child abuse prevention, and there are things that we can do to help decrease those numbers of children that are harmed, that maybe parents just don't know another way. They need some tools, some education, a break.
Oftentimes, the individuals in our community that need the most support are in situations where they don't have a lot of free money flying around. How does the family place qualify people to receive help? Is there even a process, or can someone just call you and...
We don't even have a process. Everyone is welcome to the Family Place services. It doesn't matter your income, your education, your neighborhood. We want everyone to enjoy the services that have been promoted from the Family Place.
You folks focus a lot on prevention rather than intervention for some of these crisis situations. What else is there that's going on at the Family Place in the next couple of months that's contributing to the community that maybe we can participate in, even if we don't think that we might need some help with some of these topics?
So one component of prevention is resilience. And resilience is that ability to bounce back after a challenge. And whatever that challenge is really defined by an individual. But that resilience can be instilled in our children, in parents and adults at any stage. Utah Family Month, which has been set aside by the governor of Utah from Mother's Day until Father's Day, that we will really concentrate on parent-child bonding. Those caring connections are one way that we can increase resilience, that everyone has that caring connection. During that time, we have Be Kind Utah. And to kick it off, we have a door decorating contest that we hope to see across the entire valley, putting hearts all over the doors of ways that people pledge that they are going to show kindness. Kindness is another way to increase resilience, to increase positivity, and those positive interactions that we have help us to face challenges every day.
Okay, so something fun. I wanted to ask you this after talking to you for a while. What are some of the habits that you've built into your life personally that are positive, daily? I do this because this supports my personal mental health, and this supports my ability to deliver on my promises to the Family Place and to the community.
Okay, give me just a second. Okay, you ready?
And it doesn't have to be like go for a jog or something.
No. I'm just hoping I can remember the different things, because we definitely promote these things within our staff and the community. So one way that I start all of my meetings, and I think a lot of people ask this question, how are you? And typically we reply with good. My next question is, so what's going good? And helping people to concentrate on what is going good in your life.
Recognizing and being grateful.
That's
for something
right.
Good.
Because there's always something going on good. Maybe the sun's shining. Maybe there was just enough cereal left in the box for you to enjoy for breakfast. Maybe there's a good book on the shelf that you could open. Or maybe there is someone that you can call and reach out to and have a good laugh with over something that happened years ago. We always encourage self-care. What does that look like for you? Maybe a jog in the park. Maybe a bath. Maybe a good book, a nap. Or being able to enjoy a phone call with someone. Gratitude is just as important because that is a great way to remember the things that are going well in your life. I think more than anything, it's about service. And that's what all of us at the family place get to do, is to serve. And we are passionate about serving the community and helping our community wherever they are. If they're in the midst of challenges, if they're in the middle of parenting, or maybe moving on to grandparenting, we want to help you and we want to be there for you.